Hi everyone, I'm Bevlyn. If you love to sing, I hope this vocal analysis benefits you in some way. Let's go!
Come on!
Wow, look at that! That's like being on top of the world. Oh, that's Jamie Wilson, who is actually a very highly sought after guitarist for recordings and live performances. Alright, so one of the things that I really want to highlight for this particular performance, which is the main reason why I'm doing this vocal analysis, is because I know a lot of you love to sing and that's why you're watching this kind of videos. I want to make you play a game, okay? So we're gonna do this game together. We're gonna listen out to their breathing sounds, okay? If you are learning how to sing, you must take note of your own breathing sound, okay? Most people who don't go and listen out to their breathing sound, they will tend to breathe quite noisily, like, you know, in between the phrases. So what we're gonna do now is to listen out to their breathing sounds. I could hardly hear his breathing sounds, okay? So let's play the game.
就当人是一场梦，不必掩饰我的错，无奈的苦笑，不必找坚强的理由。
And I know that you thought, okay, he's pulling his microphone back down, so, you know, I can't really hear his breathing sound because the mic is too far away, but let's continue listening. The way he breathes is more like, it's a quick inhalation. It's almost like gulping the air down the throat kind of feeling, okay, and not kind of sound, okay? So
就让它越演越刺痛我胸口，让我眼神没有焦点，泪水模糊我的视线。
So one thing is the breathing sound. The other thing is when he was about to go into the belting, you know, a lot of people will just get anxious and do a lot of compensatory movements like that to sing the high notes out. But I want you to observe how JJ does it, okay? We all know that he's like the walking city, but why is he a walking city? It's because he's not emotionally reacting to high notes, okay? Watch out for his body posture. He doesn't care. It looks as if he doesn't care. He just sang into those high notes. And I think that's one thing you must take away if you want to sing high notes, okay? Is that you mustn't be swayed by your emotions, okay? Because your body has to react in a certain way to receive the high notes, okay? There's no breathing sound. I mean, maybe there's some sound, but it's so minimal for, you know, these high notes and intensity, especially this one. Yeah, so there's only one thing I don't quite like about JJ when he sings. And I know, you know, people are gonna like, you know, flame me and roast me in the comments, but I'm sure a lot of vocal teachers will agree on the same thing, which is when you sing, you're not supposed to use so much jaw movements, okay? So I'm gonna point out for you which part it is I'm talking about, and you can observe if you do that as well, you know, when you sing. Yeah, here. There's a slight left-right movement, which is a bit extreme if you ask me. Even for this one, you can see the movement, right? Yeah, so this is not about, oh, of course, the jaw must move because you're opening your mouth and therefore the jaw must move, kind of moving. We're talking about another kind of movement for the jaw, which is the tendency for most people, if not trained, he's trained, I know, if not trained in that regard, to protrude the jaw out when they sing because they want to reach for the high notes. So this is something that a lot of vocal teachers know about, but of course, JJ being JJ, he's so famous and he sings so well anyway, he has other things that he's doing to counter that. But generally for most people, if you're clueless about whether you're using your jaw and you're dragging your jaw around when you sing, you can actually suffer from TMJ issues, where there can be some kind of pain and you may feel like your jaw is locked and you can't really open your mouth. And some people may even feel like when they want to open their mouth, there is a pop sound, because it triggers some action there. So this is actually way more common than you think, the usage of the jaw protrusion, to hit the high notes. So to check whether you're using your jaw to sing on a chronic level, I want you to do one thing, okay? Just put your knuckles, okay, to go behind your earlobes, okay, which is here. Go behind your earlobes and just press in deeply. And if you feel that your area here is a bit sore, you are likely to be using your jaw to be singing, if you sing a lot. Okay, of course, if you're not really a singer, but you feel some aching here, you could also be using your, your jaw a little bit to be talking on a daily basis. Hi, are you interested to improve on your singing? If you're interested to learn singing using the classical singing method for pop songs and still sound pop, you're welcome to join my community where I have a free Q&A session for any aspiring singers. And of course, you can post your questions and I have a textbook and courses that you can take with my coaching to further improve your singing. A lot of people think that taking online courses doesn't work, but it doesn't work if you don't have a teacher to guide you. But I'll be there for this platform, so you're welcome to join us. See you there. I still can't hear the breathing sound, so this is an indication or a marker of somebody who can sing really well, like really well on the fundamental level, because you don't hear him or her gasping for air with the chest rising up like that, So there's a reason why he's able to belt those high notes and have so much stability, because if your breathing as the fundamental is able to be so efficient and so stable, then of course there's a lot of things you can do with your vocal instrument because your fundamentals, your power station is so good, okay? It's so correct. 一点曾经刻骨铭心的眷恋，让你挂念。我只能说，如今我已无处可躲。One other thing you may observe is that he usually will open his mouth quite fully, in and out, before the sound comes out. And I think that's really important if you want to sing well, because a lot of people, they breathe in halfway, they don't really open up the oral cavity, and they start singing. So that's when your tone may not be the best, because you're not really giving a full tone on the onset when you start singing into the phrase, okay? But for JJ, you can really physically, visually see that he always opens up, and it's something you can see for yourself. It's not something that is like you have to squint to observe. He really opens up fully before the sound comes out.
微笑。当我看见潮起潮落，让我们欢迎阿丽。
输了你，赢了世界又如何？你曾渴望的梦。
What I really love about Alin, right, is the tone in her voice, so thick that is so uncommon in Chinese pop. Her tone is so unique, and people ask me why Alin has such a deep tone. Of course, on some level, is DNA. But another thing you can try to do to shift yourself closer to her is to always remember to lower your larynx, okay? When you lower your larynx, you will always give a richer, deeper tone. And I think a lot of singing students can really benefit by lowering their larynx, to stabilize the larynx as they sing higher and higher. The other thing I want you to observe is also her breathing and also her body posture. I love everything about Alin. To me, she's like the model for singing. And of course, JJ is really great, but he still has some kind of forward body posture that he's used to, and I feel that's what he thinks works for him. But Alin, on the other hand, knows that if she can make herself go more upright, and not bend forward with a little bit of forward head movement, it actually allows the voice to stay in a better shape, especially when she wants to stay thick and high,
伤我永远不会懂我，
是在你，赢了世界却依然如此冷。
Even when she bends down, she's not doing this. Check out her body, okay? When she bends down, she actually opens up.
是在你，赢了世界却依然如此冷清。谁又能让我清醒？除了你。
So what you see from very good singers is that they will show you these lines, okay? So you see that on JJ. So these are actually good for singers, okay? If you don't see these lines on your face when you sing certain notes, you are probably singing with a deadpan face, which is, it doesn't do anything for you, okay? It doesn't do anything for the tone. It doesn't do anything for resonance, all right? So watch yourself in the mirror when you sing, all right?
输了你，赢了世界又如何？你曾渴望。
The breathing sound is so minimal. It's not like 你曾渴望, it's more like 你曾渴望. So of course, when the microphone is so near, it will amplify the breathing sound. But if her breathing sound is 你曾渴, it will be so much louder through the sound system, right? So it's okay to hear a bit, but when you feel like it's brinking on like panting, you know it's wrong, okay? But they're so good.
的梦，
我想我永远不会懂我
失去你，一切却依然如此冷清。
Yeah, the other thing is that, a lot of students are so afraid to express themselves on the face when they sing. But if you look at really good singers, look at their faces. Yeah, so I know Alin, she's still frowning. She's still doing this kind of cheek lifting and a bit of frowning expression. I can see the front teeth. And of course, JJ is really like crying kind of feeling. You need that if you want to sing high notes, okay? You can't sing with a deadpan, droopy, sleeping face. It's not possible.
冷清，有谁又能让我清醒？除了
谢谢阿丽，
谢谢。
So good. In the Mandarin pop industry, I think it's so good to have such fantastic singers. And I know that, in the scene right now for shows like that, there's always a lot of like auto-tune, that kind of stuff. But we can sort of tell the breathing sound, we can tell by how people breathe in, whether their mouth is like half open before they start singing, and these are things that you'll be able to tell if you are someone learning singing or if you have been singing for a long time. Like you can tell where the muscles are supposed to go. It's not supposed to be so good looking. Alright, so I hope you learned something from this, and I hope to see you again for my next vocal analysis.